Hello, this is Colin Hillston. Today is July the 11th, and I just want to share something with you. I was reading this morning in the Diamond Cutter book by Geshe Michael Roach. I've been actually working with kind of this book for a little bit, really, really enjoying it. But something came to mind here as I was reading through some of the points. The Diamond Cutter is, the top subtitle of the Diamond Cutter book is The Buddha on Managing Your Business and Your Life. It's a teaching that's based on an original teaching of the Buddha, a teaching that he gave. And it's about how to apply this wisdom on managing your business and your life. And a big part of this is to understand the concepts of what the Buddhists call emptiness, meaning that any event really by itself has no energy of its own or has no meaning of its own. It's like the meaning that we give or how we react and respond to something really comes from our own self and not really from the event itself. So a point here that really caused me to lay out this configuration that you're looking at is one of the 7 points of how to apply this teaching, and here's the one that's that really caused this image to happen that you're looking at. It says the third point says in order to see yourself as physically healthy and attractive, plant imprints in your mind for this in your subconscious by refusing ever to get angry. Okay, and that was actually the kicker here, to ever refuse to get angry. What you're seeing in front of you are 15 of the 17 levels of consciousness that come from David Hawkins' work, initially published in Power versus Force and in subsequent books. And the map of consciousness is something that I've worked with extensively as a coach. And so as I was reading this, in order to see yourself as physically healthy and attractive, plant imprints for this in your subconscious by refusing ever to get angry. So it caused me to lay out anger. Anger is one of the 17 levels of consciousness, one of the lower levels of consciousness, to actually put it sort of into the core of things. The question is that, so what if, okay, the reason why there are unresolved health problems is because at the core of oneself, are conscious and unconscious anger issues. Okay, so what if we could what if we found a way to get rid of this? For first of all, if anger is at the core, okay, then what keeps it there? And so as we go around, there is fear, there is guilt, there is apathy. Apathy is a sense of hopelessness, dread. Desire, in terms of the red, burning, hot desire, the things that we think are going to make us happy, but they lead to disappointments. So we get all these disappointments. Then there is shame and grief. And shame is just, things that we feel humiliated. And grief has a lot to do with regrets. So these are the stuff that actually kind of holds the anger in place. What we really want is sort of at the outside. And I just laid it out here. It's like sort of there's... The word says is actually in the original teaching by David Hawkins. It's the 17th level. The highest level is actually enlightenment. And the artist who created this artwork, Jen Rothschild, she actually, instead of writing enlightenment into her artwork, she used the word is as an isness, which is really a high state of consciousness where everything just is, which really reflects that Buddhist teaching. Everything's just empty, and it's what we project into the situation causes our experience. Acceptance, reason, what we really want love, what we really want joy. At 1:00, the tile is a little bit difficult to read there. It says peace. What we really want is peace. And then there's willingness and there's neutrality. So like what's on the outer circle is actually really a type of attitude, a type of awareness, a type of expression that actually gives us more of what we really want. So what if we took something to replace anger with? And what if we took courage? Courage is one of the 17 levels of consciousness. It's sort of the bridge between the higher and the lower. Okay, because often, like when we have anger is really, really important. It's a very, very important, necessary level of consciousness Revolutions are really, revolutions could not happen. Overthrowing like a dictator, a cruel dictator, could not really happen unless there was enough anger to create such a force that these unjust systems can be overthrown. However, we then want to move on and create something way better instead of coming back to what was before. So the point here is that anger is really important. We need to have courage to actually take a step. We need to have courage to deal with our fears. We need to have courage to deal with our guilt. We need to have courage to kind of get out of apathy. We need to have courage to really look at our desires from a higher perspective. We need to have courage to stop shaming and blaming, and need to have courage to actually step out of the field of humiliation. We need to have courage to really go beyond grief and regrets. And that really kind of starts with neutrality, the courage to actually be neutral. The courage to admit that I don't really have a real clue what's really truly going on. It's just my perception of things, right? And once we're actually willing to take that approach, we can just accept that, what I'm feeling right now is really the best that I am able to feel. And so, but what do I really want, and what's really the reason why I'm here? What can I really do with my life? What are the true possibilities? What really has meaning? And that's how we really get into the juicy zones of love, joy, and peace. Love is really a state of respectfulness. You respect ourselves. It starts with self-respect. And once we actually practice self-respect, once we transcend our angers, have the courage to actually take a different approach, we can get into the zone of self-respect. And as we practice self-respect, we actually, it's like sowing the seeds of love, as it says in the prayer of St. Francis, where there's hatred, I sow the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds of love, we need to have patience. It takes time for seeds to sprout and grow into a rose bush, to grow into an oak tree, to grow into something that you enjoy. It takes time. Most people don't have that patience, and that's the problem. There is no joy in impatience. We cannot be joyous or joyously fulfilled and be impatient at the same time. It doesn't happen, because in joy there's serenity. You see, in your bliss is to the right of joy. It's peace, serenity, a sense of perfection. Everything's as perfect as it can be. So anyways, that was just a brief sharing. What if we found a way to create better health by actually addressing and resolving and transcending our anger issues? Well, great idea, isn't it?